When I was about 6 years old, I was driving somewhere at night with my dad, and I took a little nap. When I woke up, he asked, "Where did you go?" I replied, "I don't know." He asked, "Well, what do you think sleep is for?" Again, I said, "I don't know." He said, "Sleep is kinda weird, isn't it?" I shrugged. Then he added, "Sleep is actually a lot like dying, don't you think?" All I could say was, "I'm 6 years old." The Greek god of sleep is Hypnos. He has a brother named Thanatos, who is the god of death. And that's just the fun 10 minutes. Sleep seems absurd. It leaves us completely vulnerable 4 hours, and it probably isn't just for saving energy. Compared to just lying awake, sleep saves us about 100 calories, about the same as a slightly above average banana. Humans need around 8 hours of sleep each night, but our animal friends vary widely. Koalas prefer 22 hours, bunnies about 9, and elephants only need 4. While you're thinking about how bad your day was, enjoy this picture of a sleeping baby elephant. Better, isn't it? No, not really. But whatever sleep is for, it's so crucial that nature built it into nearly every semi-conscious being on the planet. For example, dolphins. If they slept like us, they drown because they don't have gills and need oxygen. So they sleep unihemispherically. They float just below the water, and one half of their brain sleeps while the other stays awake. Then they switch. Human sleep is more straightforward. Teeth, toilet, a bit of crying, and off to dreamland. Stage 1. Brainwaves slow down a bit. Stage 2. Your pulse slows down, and you start producing sleep spindles, tiny bursts of brainwaves that, while we don't know exactly what they do, look something like this. Stages 3 and 4 are the deepest levels of sleep. Growth hormone is released, and tissues are repaired. Then, stage 5, rapid eye movement or REM sleep. Your brain mostly paralyzes your body. Your eyes move around, your face twitches, brainwaves go wild. And this is where about 80% of dreams occur. The funny part is, when we're not dreaming, where do we go? Just blackness, every night, over and over, because sleep is just death being shy. If we learned that an asteroid was approaching, and was so huge, it would wipe out our civilization in 60 years, we'd probably go into a panic. Riots, wars, maybe even end the world before the asteroid even arrived. But there's an asteroid approaching slowly, taking one person at a time, and we practice for it every night. And its name is death. With an asteroid, the whole species would be gone in a few days. With death, though, maybe we find comfort in the fact that, even though we'll be gone, the world will keep going without us. We know a little about the future we'll miss out on. For example, in the next few years, you might become a parent of 2 children, and the average human generation cycle in about 30 years. By the 2080s, we'll be 2 generations ahead. You'll be a grandparent, and 6 people will inherit your DNA. If humanity reaches Mars on November 10, 2084, the colonists will see Earth transit from Mars, looking like a black dot passing across the sun. By 2110, another generation later, and assuming humans have 2 children on average, your children will have grandchildren. You'll have 14 descendants. They might have attended your funeral. Don't worry, everyone got drunk at the pub and said nice things about your hair. The world population will likely be around 11 billion, having jumped by 4 billion in just a century. In the 2140s, another generation later, 30 people will carry your genes. By 2200, another generation will be in the 23rd century. Halley's Comet will have just reached its perihelion. You'll have 62 descendants. In the mid-2200s, 6 generations later, you'll have 126 descendants. Lilu and Corbin Dallas will soon start a romantic relationship, and by the end of the century, still at 2 children per generation, you'll have 2050 descendants. We can't even guess what culture and technology will look like. So, in the year 12,000 AD, after 240 generations, if sex is still in fashion, you'll have several million descendants. Antares might have gone supernova and be visible from Earth even during the day. By 52,000 AD, after 1500 generations, Earth's rotation will have slowed enough that we'll need to add a leap second to our calendar. By 100,000 AD, after 3,000 generations, you might recognize the constellations, but they'll be changed. By 250,000 AD, after 7,500 generations, Lohi, currently a submarine volcano in 2019, will have risen out of the ocean and become a volcanic island. In 2 million years, the Grand Canyon will erode to surround the Colorado River, if the river is still there. In 50 million years, Eurasia and Africa will collide, forming a new mountain range. In 500 to 600 million years, Earth's continents might fuse back into a single supercontinent. A day on Earth will likely be at least an hour longer. Our moon will be so distant that solar eclipses will no longer occur. In 1 billion years, the sun will be 10% more luminous, causing our oceans to start evaporating. Plant life will be unlikely. In 4 billion years, the Milky Way and our neighboring galaxy Andromeda will collide, forming Milkomeda. In 10 billion years, the sun will be 250 times its current size and will probably have swallowed Mercury, Venus, and Earth. In 1 trillion years, the Big Crunch might begin, with the universe collapsing back in on itself. Galactic clusters will merge, stars will collide, and the explosions will light up the heavens. Eventually, the black holes of the universe will collide, forming a single supermassive black hole, which will consume itself. In 1 quadrillion years, if the Big Crunch doesn't happen, the universe will continue expanding indefinitely. In this scenario, the main events of the next almost infinite period will be the decay of nucleons, protons and neutrons, and if no new universe begins, the current universe will reach its final state of energy uninhabited, uninhabitable, perpetual, limitless darkness. We all went through that stage as kids when we realized people die. And mom and dad are people. And I'm a person. So, oh God, some of us, including your pompous narrator, never quite got over that realization. It's too much to live with the knowledge that our projects and lives are limited. And when an animal is gone, it soon feels as though it never was. And this idea is too vast and sharp to fit into the mind. The things we'll miss after we're gone, parties, the births of people we would come to love, walks, hugs, brave steps into the unknown our species will still take. Homo sapiens, more like Homo nihilus, the only animal aware of its own impending end, and the end of the world as well.